What's up, everyone? It's September, which means New Balance patch. What's happening, Paper Thin? As we're having patches after patches, and it's time for Clash Royale League Asia. We just gotta go like that. We just gotta have fly on, and players gotta adapt. We're gonna see a lot of wild stuff today. It is the first competition, real competition with these players, with the September update.
Yeah, and then there was a patch just a few minutes ago, G-Clef, where they changed a little bit.
15 minutes ago, and players right now changing their deck. Before, they're not really allowed to change their deck before they're given time in game, and then in the middle, in between the game, they get a minute to change the decks and all that. But they don't usually get to do that. But because this one just hit, they're right now just changing the deck. We're just gonna be honest. With the newest patch, the range changing to the executioner is just solid 4. We just got to test just one game because we also did not get to have too much time on it. It's gonna be wild. More damage. Yeah, just more damage,
yeah.
but the range is pretty short compared to the old one.
It's very short.
Attack speed about 2.5, I believe, and it returns faster, so
yeah,
which is okay. But the range, I think it's the one big problem that it was having just for a few days after the update, because it was so short. It actually needed to get really close, and then remember the old one where it just crossed the bridge and it hits the tower right after? Right now, and then nowadays it needs to like walk. It's pretty slow too. It needs to walk all the way and then gets the throw, but goes down to an arrow.
Yeah, it's I don't know. When we were playing with it, I was just kind of like, maybe you could see it in 2v2. I don't think anyone's gonna try it in 1v1 today. It's too sudden. It's just not. There isn't enough time to prepare for it. The Fisherman, we still might see there was a minor change to that as well.
Yes,
they reduced its hit points a little bit. Now that's a pretty decent little nerf to it there, 5% reduction in its hit points. So, it's still pretty tanky, to be honest, but maybe people think about going back to the Goblin Cage despite its nerf that it had in the overall patch on Tuesday or Monday, depending on your time zone.
Yeah, I think today's the day where we actually find out what's in the mystery box. Literally, it's the mystery box with anything in it. Like, you can just bring in, if you're just not confident with anything new, because of so many changes, just go back to the usual meta decks from last week and the weeks before. You can still bring out an RG, but RGs has been having a lot of trouble from that Fisherman because you can just drag it. Instead of 4 elixir, it's now 3 elixir. It doesn't do as much damage, but the reason why you use it because you want to have all the attack onto the other lane. And this is an important matchup for today. We have Chaos Theory, Destination Gaming, Ponos versus Kicks, Talon versus Dragon X, only Group A teams.
Yep, this is the way we're doing it this season. Just one group at a time each day. So I think this is going to be, especially match number 8 here. It's going to be really good. Ponos versus Kicks. That one should be a real barn burner. I'm excited for that. Chaos Theory versus Detonation should be good. Talon needs to find a way to pick it up here. They've had a struggle start to the season, so let's see if they can get it going. But first match today, Chaos Theory versus Detonation.
Yes, let's try to think what's going on in their mind right now, in their brain. Oh my gosh, what cards should I take out or bring for that 1v1 or 2v2? Maybe, just maybe, if Tornado's allowed in 2v2? Executioner time.
Yes, I could see that happening. I could definitely see that happening because, I mean, it's so darn tanky. It survives the lightning. It, like, just barely, but it survives the lightning, so you have to double spell to kill it. Its attack speed is pretty high. It's a good AoE killer, but now it doesn't have that, like, tremendous range advantage. So
I think it's mostly going to be like a giant skeleton.
Yeah.
Mostly used for defense, along with that tornado. So
right.
You see the comparison here? I think that's going to be the main deal. If you really bring it, this tornado, executioner, it's going to do a lot more damage than before. I think it's going to take care of a lot of air units and ground units at the same time. Maybe. So that's going to be chaos. So right now, Detonation not really having their best time of their lives. I think it's about time. I think today is the day where we can actually see lots of upsets. Chaos Theory, known to be the stronger team compared to Destination Gaming, just compared to history, not just last season, throughout the year of 2018. Maybe tonight is the night.
Yeah, Detonation's going to have to find a way to defeat Benzer one way or another. That's got to happen for them, because if they lose the 1v1, then it goes to the King of the Hill, and they've got to be able to defeat him. And it is, in theory, maybe a little harder, but also a little easier because we have no bans in the 1v1s or the King of the Hill. So, I mean, we saw Pedro do very, very well against Benzer.
Basically dominate him.
Yeah, he really understood what Benzer wanted to do, and it was pretty one-sided. So there is our lineup.
Oh, yes. Tornado, of course, banned Giant Skeleton. So is it time for some more... Maybe Fisherman? Maybe some Water Time. We'll have to see. Trainers, Dexters, JTB, Pyrameki, Hanex Hane, similar stuff for 2v2. Of course, Benzer Riddell, but Raya coming back online for Detonation Gaming. So let's see how Raya is going to do this time. Benzer did not seem perfect last time at all.
No, Benzer looked very, very beatable last time. I mean, Pedro really, really took it to him, not only in the 1v1 set, and then he beat him in the King of the Hill as well, I believe. So that was, let me double check.
Yeah, that was Legend, I believe.
Legend
yes.
beat him. JP, he beat, Benzer beat JP, he never even got to Pedro in the King of the Hill because Legend beat him. But yeah, Raya here, he in his 1v1 set last week, he played P.E.K.K.A. Battle Ram and a kind of like a Royal Giant E-Drag kind of thing with some Ice Wizard in there. So he lost both games though. Tough matchup for him there. And let's see if he can bounce back this week.
I think the big key card, yeah, with the update is on for the 2v2 is actually P.E.K.K.A. getting a nerf on the range from the really long to medium now. So it actually has somewhat of an effect, making the Expo decks in meta actually a little stronger because of that. 2v2, we saw a lot of Mega Knight, P.E.K.K.A. just coming down, chopping Golem, chopping everything that's heavy on the ground. The opponent's Mega Knight, opponent's P.E.K.K.A. all the time like that. But with Fisherman, you can make some funky moves. You can move around a few stuff, make it go left or right. So I think we're really focusing on that card because Tornado is banned. Not likely we're going to see Executioner in 2v2 this time. What else do you think we're going to be seeing today?
In 2v2, I don't think it's going to be super different other than, yeah, like Fisherman instead of Goblin Cage has been pretty popular throughout like what I've seen online and that kind of thing. I mean, obviously, who knows for sure, because this is really the first professional level tournament we've had on this patch. Nobody's really played on it yet. There's been, like you said, some event matches, but nothing super serious. So we'll see what they want to do. It is game number 1 here. Detonation Gaming versus Chaos Theory, a 2v2 set.
Let's get it going, because we waited for this entire week. Last week we only had the Thursday, and we're back on Thursday. Just going to start with a miner with the skeleton. No other further defense with the snowball, getting all the skeletons, removing some damage, and we have the lava coming out from Chaos Theory.
Yeah, looks like an Inferno Dragon and a Musketeer being chosen for Detonation to defend against this. That is a Mega Knight coming down there, trying to distract a little bit here and buy some time, just using that poison very effectively there. And a little bit of damage done on the push by Chaos Theory.
Yep. Wanted to burn some units, Inferno and the Musketeer, but also in the middle, there was a Fisherman behind that Mega Knight, just melted with the poison damage. And that was basically, didn't really do too much. I think they were concerned that Mega Knight will be chopped from something like a mini P.E.K.K.A. or something. Wanted to drag it with the Fisherman, making sure that the Mega Knight has potentials to do more.
Yeah, okay, now it's an Inferno Tower, so a lot of Inferno here for Detonation Gaming. Chaos Theory, do they have something to counter this, or are they just going to try to spell chip and play good defense against it? Because if you don't have the lightning spell in there, it can be pretty challenging to get those lavas to get through.
Yeah. Another lava, yeah, Chaos Theory bringing the double lava and Detonation. They have double Inferno, one Inferno Tower, one Inferno Dragon. So they're not really concerned activating the King Tower right after. No, it does not really get it 100% with the Fisherman just dragging it. Chaos Theory really wanted that activation.
Yes, you can see that they brought both the Goblin Cage and the Fisherman here, so diversifying their defense. There's that big lightning that I was looking for here. That's a nice moment here for Chaos Theory, giving them a nice push there up on the top right.
Pups connecting a few more, about half health left on the top right. Even the Dark Prince, I think, got a damage. Was stopped just in time with the skeletons, I believe. Didn't really do too much damage.
Yeah, the Dark Prince got a bit of an area radius nerf there, so there's some bats and a Mega Knight coming down on the left. The Miner behind all of it. Goblin Cage there, buying some time, will erase that Mega Knight, and good guards there as well to clean up the Miner.
And the Brawler not as fast anymore. Speed did go down from very fast to just fast. You can kind of expect the speed nerf there. So for the tower to take it out, it's going to be a little easier. So Detonation Gaming, they have double Inferno, so Lava's not really connecting too well. They got to come up with some counter damage. It comes with the miner on the bottom left.
Yeah, big push here on the bottom left that Ewiz comes down to clean up the skeletons from the skeleton barrel. Both towers getting a little bit low here, but it's a slight advantage, it looks like, for Detonation right now.
Yeah, good log right there. Then the cage to log before that. Guards coming just in time to get that Mega Knight jump off, away. Chrono Dragon's still out there, but it's not really going to connect to the tower at all. So down to some more damage taken for Chaos Theory down on the top, bottom left. 619.
Yeah, Detonation are doing a good job keeping the pressure on, making it hard to get the lightning, but this time they are able to get it top right, and yes, Chaos Theory.
You called it for the spell, lightning. They brought it and stopping that Inferno because they had the double. I believe the first one landed on the dragon.
Yeah,
and then was able to make sure the pups connect a little more. Even not just the air units, they had a whole lot of ground units charging for the tower to do straight damage too.
Yeah, if you're running a beatdown deck these days, it's pretty much a necessity to bring lightning. If you're bringing lava, if you're bringing golem or anything like that, anything that's really heavy, it just kind of feels like because of the prevalence of Inferno Dragon or Inferno Tower, you got to be thinking about that. You got to be thinking about that lightning.
Yeah, even a Zap was used so much more. I think the key here was that Chaos Theory, their duo, had so many great spells in ready for what was about to happen against the Skeleton Barrel. You have the Snowball to drag it back to make it slower. You have the Log ready, jump to go against the Miner, against the Fisherman, and everything together on the bottom left. So I think Detonation, a lot of damage, what they were trying to look for was eliminated by those two spells.
Yeah, exactly. It just, there were good counters to the defense that they brought. And so now, think about changing it up. I mean, it was a really nice try by Detonation, but as soon as you get into double elixir, it's a lot harder to buy time and keep that lightning out of the ability to circulate it into the opponent's, ability to use it.
And JTB Trainer Dexter's with the lava, you can basically have burst damage with a lot of pups when they connect to it. Detonation, they were looking for chip damage with the miner and maybe poison, but it was used defensively most of the time. Let's see what Game 2 brings us. I think Detonation Gaming might have changed a little bit more, not just from the miner and the cycles with chip damage.
And there's a lot of defense available from what Chaos Theory brought against those Goblin Barrels. They had spells, they had Snowball, Log, they had the Ewiz as well. So there's a lot available to defend that, the miner, whatever you want to put behind it, bats or Skeleton Barrel or skeletons, whatever. And this time it's Graveyard here from Detonation.
Back to Graveyard, no Tornado here, so has to drop the Inferno against the Mega Knight, but connects the Baby Dragon first for Chaos Theory. Only the Mega Minion taking care of the skeleton, so it will actually do a decent damage on the bottom right.
Ooh, just in time was that Inferno Tower. And now we're trying the balloon push here from Chaos Theory. We've got another, this time the freeze is available here with the balloon. That's a pretty healthy Mega Minion with it as well. Oh, and defensive freeze, of course.
But is that enough to block it from reaching it to the tower? Just enough with the Musketeer landing on a shot, but already a quick push happening on the left side. Detonation, they have another sort of spell to defend it.
Yeah, they've got the Log and the Bat, so they're going to be able to defend the double Musketeers on the right as well as take down that top left Princess Tower.
Yeah, Detonation used too many spells and everything else against anti-air onto the right side. Didn't really have the perfect defense against that second push of Chaos Theory. Good use up to switching the lane to the left, and now here comes the counterattack with that Graveyard. Mega Knight jumped right there, but locked on by that Inferno, so they should be okay here.
Yeah, there's no reason for them to use the freeze. It's just not enough elixir, and there's too much defense available anyway there. So just going to opt to try to chip down as much as they can with that Graveyard, and so far, this is looking very, very good for Chaos Theory.
Yeah, with the miner, Chaos Theory also took some damage away from the tower, letting the balloon to make sure it reaches so far away. Detonation Gaming, they have one Inferno.
There it is. The Executioner.
Oh, here we go. Here we go. We do have it. It's okay against the Graveyard, but what's following behind the Mega Knight and defensive freeze, that's a good way to use the Executioner.
Yeah, absolutely. It is going to take that out. Now it's going to turn around and start throwing at these, but he gets pulled by the Fisherman. Never mind. That's not too big of a deal, though, as the Graveyard was pretty well dealt with there by Chaos Theory.
And the balloon again to go for that King Tower, defensive Inferno Tower just in time for detonation, but still taking a little too much damage. And with that rage, it goes down. Does not really connect to the King Tower, but the death damage will.
They got to be careful here on the bottom right. That's a one shot from a Musketeer, and now we're going to get some bridge spams from Detonation. A desperation moment here for them. The Ice Spirit does do a little bit of help, but now there's a lot coming in. The freeze coming down as well. That Graveyard's doing a lot of damage, but there's a poison in time for defense.
Yeah, defensive poison from Chaos Theory, and I think that seals it. A lot of skeletons did connect damage at the end for Detonation, but 1,000 was a too much HP to bring it down with just one set of attack from Detonation. Chaos Theory 2-0, solid defense, and we also got to see that Executioner did some work.
I like it, and it makes sense. It's pretty useful against the Graveyard if you think about it. I mean, that high attack speed, the quick return time now makes it very, very useful because that's kind of the key to defeating Graveyard, right? You see this a lot with Lumberjack and units that aren't necessarily tanky. They have high attack speed, so they're able to kind of deal with those skeletons as they come up from the Graveyard very quickly.
That's one. They also have two. When the Mega Knight, usually Mega Knight's going to have something behind it. Just having that range, of course, it just changed to 4. As long as your Executioner is close to it, not getting damaged by the Mega Knight, when you have a freeze, when you're doing this damage to the Mega Knight and the ones behind it at the same time, yeah, exactly when you want to use that freeze. If you don't have a tornado, make it work, something like that.
I mean, really, really well done here by JTV and trainer Dexters. They played very, very well. This was a great timing on these balloon pushes. They were able to just bust through Detonation's defense. Really good job there, knowing that after they use that defensive freeze, they could just load up on the left side. And you can see it right there. JTV pumps his fist, knowing full well that that was going to work.
Yeah, there's no way they have other sorts of spells to... Yep. Do they have another snowball, another zap, another anything crazy that's going to stop the balloon? It's not going to be double freeze for sure.
Right, exactly. And they kind of had a pretty good idea. Once the Graveyard comes out these days in 2v2, you're pretty well aware it's going to be a freeze somewhere.
Yes.
And forcing out that defensive freeze is so nice when you can do that, especially right on top of the Princess Tower. Feels good, man.
Yeah, right on top of your opponent's Princess Tower,
Yeah,
which doesn't really freeze your own Princess Tower anyhow.
That's probably for the best.
Yeah. You're really looking to use it offensively with your own set of cards. And when you're using it as defense, only when you're winning the game really hard or you're in a desperate mode to use a defensive freeze.
Yeah. Once you're ahead, it's okay to start using it defensively. But if you're behind or it's early on in the game, using it defensively can really be disastrous for a couple reasons. A, you don't want to use it in that situation, and B, you're giving away the surprise potentially, but I don't think that was going to surprise JTV or Dexter's there. But moving on, it's time for the man, the myth, the legend, Benzer Rydell.
Is he still the legend?
Maybe.
That's the question that I'm going to ask you here, because he dropped a bit towards the end of the last season, and also only not too many matches yet for Benzer to go on that 1v1, but he is the only one that plays 1v1 from Chaos Theory. That's going to be the concern. If he drops any more, for the entire team, it can be a greater risk, just him having to come out on that roster. Yeah,
he struggled a little bit once people started banning Mortar against him at the end of the season, but in the playoffs he played well. He picked up some new decks, changed up his strategies, was able to pick up some beatdown decks, does really well with Goblin Giant Sparky, so I think there's a lot of versatility in him. Not going to be surprised though if he just kicks it off with Mortar here. It's been about a week. He's had a lot of time to practice it.
Yeah, no more bans. Rhea is also ready to go up for that 1v1. Here comes that September balance patch, guys. Let's see what this brings.
And I'm like, all right, throw down Mortar. No, just kidding. He doesn't do that. He never does that.
Mega Minion.
All right, maybe
so
not.
No Mortar.
No Mortar then.
And Expo deck still really popular. Hog Rider for the cycle.
Ooh, Expo hero. Yep. The Hunter coming through here. A rocket.
That's a beautiful rocket. Does connect to the tower just a little bit because it does survive a rocket, but got the Mega Minion too, so that's actually okay for Rhea.
Right, so smelling like a spell cycle here from Rhea as... Whoa! No! It's not the end of the world if it misses, but
He's a little bit too powerful when he throws down that log.
Yeah.
Just missed just by like a 0.5 inch.
it's not the end of the world. The hunter doesn't really do much damage to the tower
Yeah,
anyway.
the bullet spread, as long as it's not right next to it. Yeah, onto the tower, it doesn't really do too much, but can also chip a whole lot. Here comes the Executioner, which everyone wanted to see, along with that Expo deck too.
This is pretty interesting here that Rhea is just going to go right for it after this change that was made just not too long ago. I know I talked to a few of the players real quick. I messaged them and they said they were nervous to try out. And here comes that Fisherman, of course, gonna pull that Hog Rider out there and activate the King Tower.
Even more worries for Rhea to actually go through. Did more damage to the bottom left. But with that King Tower activated, the Hog Rider is going to maybe connect one less shot, and it does matter a lot at the end. Fisherman, let's see what else Benzer can actually use, because so far Expo has been really just not being taken care of other than the rocket like this.
Yeah, it's a pretty even trade in a way, using the rocket onto the Expo, but I mean, Benzer's got to like that he's getting that extra damage out of it. So if he can find a way to do some good defense, now that he's got the King Tower activated, it's going to be a lot easier to defend against that Hog Rider. So definitely, I think things are starting to tilt towards Benzer's favor.
Yeah, that's exactly what Rhea is thinking. Okay, there's that Fisherman. How do I make my Hog Rider work now? It's going to hook every single time. Okay, with that Ice Spirit, it's going to buy some more time.
Oh boy. All right, is it going to turn? Yes, it does get that Hog Rider, so the Hunter is able to help there as well. Fascinating that Fireball log, not enough to kill an Executioner. That is a ton of damage between two spells.
Pulls a Skeleton first, and then the Knight inside the Princess Tower. Range Hog Rider right next to that Expo, making sure the Expo does not really connect at all.
Look at that. It pulls the Hog Rider away. Now it's still going to get taken down by the Executioner as well here. So he's going to drop something. He's got the Skeletons. You can place him around the Executioner to buy yourself some time and clean that up. And let's see if you can get this Expo to connect here. Nope, we're going to get the Knight in time.
Just in time. And another Hog. This one's actually a bigger push compared to the one before, so it has to drop down the Mega Minion and the log to get everything off. This rocket was a little bit late because of Elixir, so got a lot more connections to the top right tower.
Yeah, this is looking really good for Benzer. He's doing a great job cycling this in and out, finding times when the rocket isn't available right away to get the Expo to at least do some damage to units at the very least, and it usually ends up connecting to towers as well. I don't know about that Tornado though, G-Clef.
Yeah, Tornado really not pulling everything. That's the thing. When Fisherman's actually spinning the hook, it doesn't get pulled by the Tornado. That's the thing. So you got to really time it well. You got to really read what's happening on the board and then use it at the exact same time. But it might just not work out with everything else that you have.
All right, the Fisherman's going to drag that right into the Mega Minion. Good. But there is quite a bit of damage still coming through with that log and Expo chip.
Yeah, you would like to connect Expo plus something else with that rocket. Like a Fisherman would be great for Rhea, but right now just too much pressure away from that Expo against the Hog, and then has to drop the Knight every single time. And when it's not in range, when it's being damaged by so many different things, Expo is going to connect.
Oh, and this is going to be GG here. Benzer Rydell turns it around with that Expo deck and takes down Rhea. I like the attempt by Rhea to try something a little cheeky here. As our boy Simon would say, it's a cheeky try, but with that Executioner, but didn't fool Benzer for too long.
I think if he, like, the first thing we have to think for Benzer is motor. And if
the second thing I think is Expo.
Yeah, if Benzer actually brought the motor, I think this was a decent matchup for Rhea.
Yeah.
To have the rocket in this way to finish what's coming behind the tower and do the tower and the damage. Executioner connected to the motor, usually going to eliminate a lot of goblins that's going to come along with that motor. So not bad. Also really good against the Rascal. It's going to get that Rascal girl at least one of it every single time.
Well, this is actually a great deck for Rhea to bring in a lot of ways because A, it's going to be really strong against, like you were saying, Mortar. And the other deck Benzer's been known for recently is Goblin Giant Sparky. This is a powerful deck against that because Rocket eliminates Sparky, and it's a really nice trade.
Just knowing that, I think Rocket is the card you actually need just in case. Well, Rocket, Executioner. That's also a done deal. Other than that, no other spells basically. But if you have a rocket against Expo, it's usually okay. But because of that, like, long time ago buff to that Expo, onto the HP. It does survive the rocket. It does do the damage onto the tower just a little bit. And over time, it does chip just like this. And Benzer was able to get that lead because of that, even though the rocket was hitting Expo basically every single time.
Yeah, I think it's a great pick by Benzer here, knowing that his opponents might be trying to counter that mortar kind of thing. And the Expo is a nice little way to throw that off a bit. So good job by him. And now we think about this one. We're taking a timeout, of course, because Detonation has not won a game yet. They need to find a way to turn this one around, G-Clef.
And this might be the start for Raya. I think this is the real chance, but Benzer just brought an Expo deck, okay? With the Fisherman, do I really have to go all the way back to the cycles and bring like a Ram Rider, Batter Ram, or maybe without the P.E.K.K.A, there are like really quick cycle ones with the, like the Ice Golem Ram Rider with the Lumberjack, or the Rage spell if you even want to use it. There were some really funky ones coming out from China just a few days ago. Yeah, with the September update, not a competitive one, but from the event. Yeah, let's see what happens, because Tornado against Fisherman, if you time it wrong, it doesn't really work all the time.
Yep, that's exactly right. That Fisherman doesn't like to move when he's winding up that hook. So game number 2 here between Benzer, Rydell, and Raya. Benzer is up 1-0. This could be match point here for Detonation Gaming.
For Chaos Theory.
There you go.
Yes. That's
a
why
Detonation Gaming faces elimination.
That's exactly why we're casting together.
You knew what I meant.
Yeah, of course. Skeleton,
Skeleton, Archer.
Archers.
I was hoping it'd be Archers from
Or
Raya
Hog
too.
from Benzer could be another done deal.
Yeah. Nope.
We're just going to stick with the Expo today.
Ooh, cannon card here from Raya.
Yeah,
All right.
immediately.
Yeah. Good timing with that Ice Spirit and the Ice Golem to get rid of that cannon, and it does lock onto the tower. Another Executioner here, though. Does end up finishing it up, but it's going to be a half-health Executioner coming across the bridge.
Yeah, see how far it actually... Okay, never mind. Skeleton's right before. Yeah, it needs a lot more time to actually lock onto the tower for the Executioner now, so you have a lot more time. So that Skeleton just came at the perfect time to get all the damage eliminated, basically. But Executioner also really good against Expo if you just place it right next to it. But the problem is that Benzer's going to drop a lot of different things near that Expo. Skeletons, Archers, Ice Golem, Ice Spirit.
Right. He's got the Ice Spirit to reset the targets, and it's a Golem here from Raya. So the Cannon Cart Golem deck coming with the Executioner inside of it as well. So this could be an interesting little matchup here, and it's going to be Tesla from Benzer.
As long as you have Tesla, it's not as bad. Yeah, for the Golem, you can actually have single target matchup as long as the Tesla connects to the tower from the beginning.
Right.
And it doesn't get eliminated by something like lightning really quickly. So Raya brought the matchup, expecting that Benzer's going to bring an Expo, something with an Expo once again. So not a bad matchup for Raya, but it's not impossible for Expos to break through.
No, we've seen Benzer beat Golem decks with Expo more than one time. So
yeah, defensive Expo's positioning will be really crucial, but right after the cannon card onto the right side this time.
Ooh, another rocket here, though. Man, this is a heavy deck here from Raya. Cannon cards coming across the bridge with the Ice Golem in time is Benzer, and the Skeletons as well will push that cannon cart outside of tower range.
Yeah, Benzer understanding the cycle, how heavy the deck is from Raya, just not even needing to have that defensive mode, because you know that the Golem is going to drop right in front of your face every single time that Expo is placed, and you have your Tesla going. So let's see the interaction here.
Good cannon cart placement this time, but Fireball Log does make it go into its turret mode there. So now you've got the Tesla to buy you plenty of time against the Golemites, and they're not going to get through either. Just a Log in there to chip through. Okay, well, they might get through and do a little bit of damage, but not much.
Great rocket there, basically expecting the Expo was going to come out. Skeleton's buying just one more time. A few more shots from the Expo to connect instead of going down for the Mega Minion straight here. So Benzer's still able to chip some more damage, but will he find enough damage in time?
Ooh, that cannon cart very well timed there by Raya. He was very ready for that Expo to come through there. It does end up getting reset onto the Ice Golem and the Archer here. Now it's going to turn its target over to the Golem there.
Yeah, after the Golem, though, Executioner comes just in time for the Expos to just go away from the Expo right there. Executioner walking its path, but Ice Golem just coming in time. Another Expo trying to connect to the tower on the bottom right. The Golem has a major defense from Raya again.
Yeah, really nicely done here by Raya. He's really found a way to buy plenty of time here with these Golems. even getting the Golemites to get through a little bit, but Benzer very okay with using that Fireball log, get a little bit chip damage, and make sure that cannon cart never crosses the bridge.
The tough thing is for Rhea, it's how you connect some more with the Golemite. This time, finally, he's going to chip some more damage. And having that Golem just in that Expo just to connect. And he will keep on marching. So how does he go through this one, though?
I don't think it does. That Golem is getting absolutely melted between the Skeletons and the Archer and the Tesla and the Expo. It's just, that is good defense there by Benzer.
Yeah, Benzer's basically wasting the other part of the cannon cart, the cannon part of cannon cart. So Rhea's losing some elixir value out of that card every single time. Benzer keeping everything together using that Tesla and Archers to go get that Golem down. So Rhea has to really be careful about that cannon.
Yeah, I mean, this is really interesting. Benzer's got enough elixir available that he's actually able to just cycle a log there. And now he's got a connection with the Expo on the left. That is so much damage being done, G-Clef.
Oh no, there's no rocket, no other spell to actually take it down just in time. 445 left, that's too close. Golem, okay, this time gets the Tesla done. With the Executioner, will this be a little more damage?
All right, the good Archer placement there behind the Tesla. Going to do a little bit of damage, but it's already into Golemite. Benzer just needs to play defense for 1 minute, and this will be his game. Does he have a defensive Tesla? Yes, he does.
Yeah, chips in cycles so quickly, and also got the log damage chipped into the top left tower here. Cannon cart after the Tesla locks onto the Archers just before in the cannons. So this is a lot of units on the tower, though.
Oh, he's got to use a log defensively here. He's still up, but Rhea is turning it around. Immediately bridge spamming another Golem. What is going to be the defensive? Yes, it is once again the Tesla here, along with the Archers available, Skeletons as well. But a nice tornado. You're going to drag these Archers into the Mega Minion.
And only the Mega Minion with that Tesla locked onto the Golemites. So you have to bring everything. Benzer's sort of in trouble. Drops everything down. Right now that log does not find the Archers on the left, but still connects to death damage. 546 right here.
It's okay. There's enough spells available for Benzer that he can do a lot of damage. I don't think Rhea has the ability with the rocket. It's going to be
5
really
seconds,
close.
432. That's going to be less than 100 very soon with the log. Does it connect? Not in time. With the log, it was going to be Rhea's win, but just not in time. What a close game.
I knew the rocket was just short, but did he have enough time for the log? No, he did not. Benzer able to time that out and just barely get the win.
The mind tricks between these two players. Just placing the log one more to the left, one more to the right. Those kind of small changes decided so many things in the middle, keeping the Archer safe, take one less damage from the log. Same for Rhea, making sure the cannon cart goes on left to the right or the Golem together. So many changes happened within that 6 minutes.
That was a wild finish there. Rhea looked like he might finally be able to break through there. He did quite a bit of damage and still had that rocket available, but it just wasn't quite enough.
Yeah, Benzer forced out all the elixirs to be used by Rhea because Rhea certainly had a heavier deck. He had to, if he drops one, he has to be really careful. Benzer can work with a lot of stuff. There's lots of 1-2 elixir spells and units you can just drop down and make some changes. A great 1v1 of what we have with the September update.
Yeah, really, really, really good. I was thrilled with that last match. Both players playing extremely well here. We are going to take a short break, guys. Coming up next, it is Ponos versus Kicks. You do not want to miss this one. This is going to be one heck of a matchup.
Oh, yes. Tekka was nerfed. We're back. Clash Royale League Asia, match number 8 of Group A. The moment you've been waiting for, and the best part is they get to face each other once again towards the end of the season.
That's the cool part here. You get to face each team 2 times. You get a chance for revenge if things don't go your way the first time. But this time, it's going to be Ponos versus Kix. Ponos looking to get something going here against Kix. Somebody's got to find a way to beat these guys, G-Clef, but I don't know if it's possible.
If it's possible, I think it's Ponos. They got to work with the 2v2 first. I think that's the key of the match here, as you do not want to bring Kix into King of the Hill. That's certainly a thing. So you got to win 2v2 for Ponos. I think that is their strategy, what they have to really focus on. They have been doing okay. 2-0, 0-2 in the match score. I think tonight's the night where they really show if they can be on top of Group A or not at the top of Group A.
Yeah, absolutely. And the real question is which 2v2 lineup is Ponos going to go with, right? They can either do Rad and Raiki Jones or Mikan Booya and Tengad. Which one will be the one they're going with? Raiki's giving us the old gun show there. So we get ready to go up against Kix here. I am JP, X Pedro, Legend, Malenton, and Onion coming at you once again. Can't wait to see what they bring. They can literally do anything they want, and it's going to be good.
Yeah, Malenton 1v1 beating everyone else is what he said during the group draw. So far, only Pedro.
And JP did pretty well when he showed up for King of the Hill.
Yes, that's it. Legend did pretty well too.
Yep.
Yeah, so this team, as we were just saying, stacked with real ace after ace player. I mean, they have not just ace, they have the king, they have the queen, they have the jack. I think they got all the cards that they need. Yeah, look at them. Their squad looks scary. We saw the King of the Hill roster last time. And remember a lot of other region players actually screenshotting that and saying Kix looking really scary with King of the Hill right now.
Yeah, and I see Malenton's up there on stage today.
Also, Mikan Booya walking for 2v2.
Oh, yes. All right. Well, of course, I mean, this is not surprising at all that Ponos has banned Tornado. That's every day, all day. That's what happens. It's like the sun comes up and Ponos bans Tornado in 2v2.
And sun goes down.
And they ban Tornado in
but
2v2.
Before the sun comes up again, Rad is up for 1v1. That's actually really surprising. I think very likely they knew that Pedro was going to be the one that's going to come out for 1v1. So Rad just doing from the social media and everything that he does, I know that he does a lot of studies with the new decks and cool tricks. I think that might be the reason with the newest update. It's been less than a week. Maybe he's got something really cool to show us against X Pedro today.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely more of a wild card because you don't get to see Rad in the 1v1s very much. So you're definitely, you know, winding up the curveball here and throwing it at Kix, trying to get them to swing and miss against Rad. We'll see if they can do that when it gets to it. But first, we've got these two guys here, Mikan Booya and Tengad, played very well last week and won their 2v2. So they're very capable.
Yeah, either they do really well or not the other side. I think they choose their 2v1 depending on their their player for 1v1. I think that should be the way. Maybe it's the other way for the team. I don't exactly know. Maybe I should learn Japanese and ask them very soon.
I know enough that I could actually ask Miko. I could he'd give me an answer and I'd have no idea what he's saying, but I could ask the question.
There's also Google Translate.
Yeah, that's true. That works pretty well.
That worked pretty well, yes. I've tried in multiple different countries and I got the meaning through. But on the other side, Legend and Onion together, they're banning the baby dragon this time. So certainly thinking about maybe just having a lot of small units like the goblins that we saw, skeleton barrel that we saw from last game, but was really taken care of with just the spells.
Yeah, there's a lot available. I mean, it's just, I'm really curious to see exactly what's gonna be the thought process here from these two banning the baby dragon. I mean, yes, Mikan Booya and Tengad, when I look at it, they were bringing a ton of baby dragon last week when they won, but everybody kind of does in 2v2.
Yeah, and it's not as common to bring baby dragon anymore. It used to be super common at the beginning of last season, but not as much. It's still really prevalent in 2v2, of course. Let's see what they bring in this 2v1. Mikan Booya Tengad from Ponos, Legend Onion from Kix.
Could be a lot of like bats or potentially minions. coming through here with that baby dragon ban.
I think you just gotta put in lots of smaller units. I think that's a real key, especially when the baby dragon's away. You're not really going to bring a bomber here. So going away from that, there's that miner already with the bats. Deal with guards. Nice spirit, okay, and then there's that lava from Ponos.
Yeah, absolutely. Going to be air heavy here from Ponos. And, oh, all right. We got the Hogs coming in here, of the Royal variety for Kix along with that P.E.K.K.A there. And we've got a flying machine up at the top right to defend that lava hound. The top left, excuse me.
And then E-Wish just to take care of a lot of those Hogs. And poison damage is going to chip in a little more. So not really bad on the Pheasant Poison from Ponos on top of those pups, connecting just a few more onto that top left Princess Tower. So overall in damage, about 200 more for Ponos down onto the top left. But Kix, I think they just wanted to get the cycle going too.
Yeah, absolutely. This is nothing really substantial for Kix to, be back behind. Now we've got a miner just coming in right out the front. Bats coming down here for Kix. The Royal Hogs coming down once again with guards and a Mega Minion placement, having to use a log as well because now that miner's in the back of all this. But I think the Princess Tower, I'm not exactly sure if it locked onto one of the Royal Hogs. I couldn't quite tell.
Yep, and also Miner actually went to the bottom right. Kix wanted to focus on just a little bit more to concentrate the damage because the lava is pushing onto the left side all the time. There's that flying machine now, locked onto the cage. Has so many bats and the Hogs back to back. Will connect at least a few every single time though.
Yeah, it's with that slower speed, walk speed from the Brawler as well. Makes it a little harder for him to catch up to the Royal Hogs when they go over to the tower, so they get kind of an extra hit in there.
Yeah, there's that offensive poison against the flying machine. The lava still pretty healthy, about 50% HP left onto the tower. Now the miner comes all the way on the back, and the fisherman now to do the extra damage.
Yep, Snowball coming down to get rid of those bats, but a counter Snowball from Kix as well to help with the pups. So it is just slight advantage here for Kix right now because of that bottom right tower. Now we've got the miner wailing away on it as well.
Yeah, it's a lot of damage, plus the poison damage. That should be almost tower down, if not already. And Ponos, they have a lot to go through on the top left. Still 1,000 more to go.
Yeah, offensive poison coming in here from Ponos. We've got a pretty healthy Lava Hound behind all this, having to use the E-Wiz to clean up that flying machine and help with that Mega Minion. But there's another Mega Minion back there. Buying some time with those bats, though. That's actually really important.
Which was okay. Also, lightning, because Ponos, they have to bring the tower down with those pups and then possibly Mega Minion connecting to it. They got it down. Okay, they spent a lot of elixirs, but it's not as bad as Kix. They also had to spend a lot more. Well, there's only one tower with the King Tower activated. The Hogs do less damage.
Yeah, absolutely. Miner's going to tank that King Tower damage for a little while, but it's really not that significant. You're getting most of your damage from the poison there in that push. And now you can just use a little snowball there.
You do not, yeah, flying machine, not even 100% HP. You do not want to really use anything, but just got the snowball away. And in a moment, Hog coming down, did some scratches. Now the P.E.K.K.A marching its way towards the left, though. So do you really go for that King Tower, Ponos?
That's what they're going to go for.
Yeah, full HP King Tower, too.
Yeah, this is going to be tough here. I think the defense should be available for Kix. Now, they could do a decent amount of damage here. That Fisherman's going to pull that P.E.K.K.A away. Pups have already broken up. So now they need to get something down so that P.E.K.K.A doesn't start hacking away, but it's already on there. Getting the Dark Prince there and a Miner in front of it to prevent more than one swing.
But compared to the HP onto the bottom left, 1,100. So that's about like 2,500 away comparing to the King Tower on the top. So Ponos, they have a lot more work to do compared to Kix. Every single time they bring those Hogs, it's connecting at least a few hundred. Flying machine, making it difficult for Ponos to use another spell. It's really keeping them away from doing anything else.
At that time, Kix burned a little bit of elixir. They weren't exactly sure how they wanted to counter this. Now we've got the lava split push here onto the right and the left. So we've got defense on both sides available. The bats down there on the right. The pups are out. I think it should be pretty okay here for Kix.
Yeah, with the miner pups not really connecting, getting dealt with the bats of defensive bats by Kix. Okay, Hogs come again. There's that P.E.K.K.A, the flying machine, all the connects together. Offensive poison from Kix that's going to eliminate everything in the ground.
Yeah, absolutely. This is going to be how Kix is going to have to win it here. They're just going to have to chip down via poison at this point and keep playing good defense. Keep those Lava Hound pocket pushes safe. Coming down again. Oh no, the flying machine.
He was just in time just to get that mini zap. Exactly what we caught at the same time. And a great poison to get the tower damage. So finally, it seems like they do want to focus a little bit, but the P.E.K.K.A 2 swings on that King Tower. Now, hold on a second here.
That's a lot.
Yes.
That's a lot.
Okay, but defense first, of course, for Ponos. Only 45 seconds and the poison log, every single spell is ticking down, and Kicks, they do have a lightning. That's the problem.
Yeah, absolutely. It's not quite in lightning range, but you can couple a couple other spells in there, and we'll see the miners right at the front here. Ponos is throwing everything they have at this King Tower to try to take it down. We've got Bats and a Musketeer to help here, and there's an E-Wiz behind all this Bats once again to buy them a little bit more time. There's that lightning, and 1:39 left. That is a log, and that will do it.
And log with the miner right before, plus that poison. There's so many spells to go through, but on top, only 466. Ponos, they were really, really close. I mean, the moment they switched, they did switch to the Princess Tower onto the top right just for a second. If they did not and focus on the King Tower, I think they could have took this game of 2v2.
I think potentially there was enough damage there with those split pushes to even though they were doing a good job managing it, you know, you get those pups out and they just get a few extra, you know, belches onto that King Tower, and it could be a completely different story there.
The overall Ponos, they did get a lot more damage onto the King Tower because it's basically like the double HP from the Princess Tower. It's a lot harder on 2v2. They made it work with so many P.E.K.K.A shots actually connecting to it. I believe in total 3 straight shots, and that's more than enough for over 2,000. Sure, Ponos, yeah, there's spells and some great log plus snowball used against the Hog. Sometimes it did no damage to their own Princess Tower.
Really nice job by Kicks early on in this match, recognizing that Ponos was going to have a difficult time because of the heaviness of their deck to deal with the Royal Hog spam. So they were able to just spam Royal Hogs onto that right-hand side to get that first Princess Tower down pretty effectively. But then Ponos, with a great job themselves, coming through and almost beating this on a 3-tower, on a 3-crown.
It was pretty close for Ponos too. Really impressive how they focused on the King Tower instead of the Princess Tower, just knowing that, okay, we have a lot of heavy units, we can hit the setup, and because we have to defend the left side, we can get that push going along with that lava. I think that was their plan. It was pretty close, did not really work out for game for the first one, but here we go. As Ponos, they really need to get this 2v2 down for themselves.
Yeah, they definitely need to win this 2v2 because, I mean, it's not that anybody on Ponos is not good at 1v1. They're all quite good at it, but man, Pedro's looked just unreal.
He's terrifying. You do not want to face against this player on 1v1. Even on a new patch, might not be the same.
Giant Skeleton this time. Are we going to see the RG in front of it, or is it going to be something a little different? Typically when Tornado's banned, indeed, yep, RG is going to come with it.
Yeah, with just an RG, there's that cage, and then Skeleton actually buying some time. Clone already!
Whoa! Fascinating clone, because it locks the RG onto the Princess Tower for a shot, but that's all they get out of it.
Yeah, that's a lot of elixirs for just a single shot. There's a Giant Skeleton once again. Graveyard coming out for Ponos this time. They had the freeze, defensive freeze, but even without any other spells, the Skeletons actually did quite a lot here.
Yeah, the Magic Archer helps a little bit, but his attack rate isn't super high. It's decent, but you're not going to catch as many Skeletons with that straight line shot as you would with a typical AoE shot.
Getting penetrated along with that P.E.K.K.A. The Magic Archer does take out the E-Wiz, so that's good news for Kicks at least.
I don't know if they actually needed that flying. Well, they can use it against the Mega Minion, so it's okay. I was just thinking, well, that P.E.K.K.A.'s not going to make it to the Princess Tower, but yeah, there's a Mega Minion behind it. So yes, good flying machine by Kicks there. Good Ice Golem by Ponos.
Yeah, forces out another card from Ponos, making it really weird of a pattern here. You can't really graveyard with like a 30% Ice Golem just by itself. So Ponos going to wait just one more turn. Is it going to be just a double graveyard with the poison? Here we go with the second one.
There's a Dark Princess distracting their Lumberjack there, so that is could be potentially painful, but the Skeleton RNG was pretty fortuitous for Kicks there.
Yeah, taking out the Giant Skeleton and also bringing that P.E.K.K.A. to chop onto the left one. Lumberjack also working with it to get the Rage on going. The Magic Archer seems to be the real key for Kicks, so Ponos using that poison to get that Archer out.
Yeah, absolutely. You can't let that Archer get some shots onto the Princess Towers. Can't let it get up there to that river, start putting some damage through, because that's going to be another win condition that Kicks has available besides the RG.
Moved by the charge from the Dark Prince. Here comes the clone once again. A defensive freeze at the same time. Another clone from Kix. Double clone.
Whoa! That is quite fascinating stuff here from Kix. Are you for real? And that gets pretty substantial damage done from those RGs who switch targets when they're cloned.
Of course, they're pushed just a little bit more. Soponos wants to react against this. There's that zap. Limiting all the skeletons ready with that Lumberjack plus the Dark Prince on the ground. Soponos, this one didn't really do too much. They have to use that freeze against the clone, and there's a second clone, so freeze. I think that sticks to the graveyard now.
This is crazy stuff Kix is doing here. Wild and crazy. There's the freeze this time to eliminate this push here, so no damage really done. Nice job by Ponos with that one.
Pretty happy about that defense. Didn't really have to use too much elixirs. Yeah, for that good defense with the freeze with small units on the ground. But there's got to be a time where you just bring that freeze with your graveyard and then just finish the game. I think Ponos is really looking for that chance right now.
Yeah, Kix really does not want to give them that opportunity, so they're keeping the pressure at the bridge. Gonna use that poison to take out that Magic Archer again, not allow him to be a threat. All right, will we get the Royal Giant behind it this time? No, we're just gonna clone all these things that are back here, having to use freeze once again to defend against this, though. But this time there's no Royal Giants in there, so a little more elixir efficient for Kix.
Yeah, the defensive freeze once again, but Ponos has been putting that poison damage to take out the Magic Archer every single time. So I think they're really happy about it because they're winning the HP war for the spells. But with that RG, when that comes along, Ponos, can they have the perfect defense? Once again, the bridge spam is real from Kix.
Kix has got to make like 2 pushes work to get through here. Can they do it? Here comes the Magic Archer. He's distracted a little bit. Is he going to find a target that'll allow him to connect? No, but he's moving up here, having to use that freeze once again, taking down that Magic Archer with the Mega Minion, trying to get that Royal Giant through, but he's slowed up so much, and here he gets no shots.
Yeah, Garth just in time, but still the Flying Machine and the E-Wiz. Okay, Ponos, they're pretty dry on their elixir. Lots of units were taken care of, but had to drop a few more. Fishermen from Kix dragging a lot of those units. Getting the E-Wiz drag was actually one of the biggest things right there. Ponos had to use a little bit more that time.
I don't think Kix realized how ahead in Elixir they were, because they set up like they thought that Ponos was going to try to graveyard there, and they did not. And I think that's a kind of a mistake from Kix, because it's going to give Ponos the opportunity to lay down another poison.
Yeah, once again, getting that M Archer and also damage to the tower. Here comes that RG. They ready for their VO clone. Freeze a little too early, and then the clone right after from Kix.
All right, here we go. The RGs starting to get their shots out, having to use a snowball to try and slow it up. 2 shots come through from the RG that time. Now Kix just trying to keep the pressure at the bridge.
Yeah, E-Wiz drops down, but with that rage, also just a little too fast on the attack speed. From everything down to 416 now from Kix. Forces out another clone. They want to just eliminate everything from the death damage right here.
Yeah, absolutely. They want to make sure that they can basically safely deal with that P.E.K.K.A. and that Dark Prince there. And now we've got the graveyard. We are very close to poison range
Double
here.
graveyard and the freeze and the poison all together from Ponos. The finishing blow. They have been waiting for this moment for 5 minutes and more. And here we go. Ponos finally bringing their 2v2.
I mean, I got to give Kix some credit for bringing something super unique.
Double clone.
Double clone with Royal Giant Skeleton. Fascinating idea. The real problem here is that Ponos likes to use freeze, and freeze is actually really good against that setup because it hits everything that's on the ground and eliminates those clones, you know, just as good as any other spell would.
Yeah, was surprised with the second clone? Yes, this moment. The Ponos was pretty surprised, but the fact that Ponos found a really good cycle. Okay, defensive freeze and offensive poison. When Magic Archer is actually the key card from Kix, we're eliminating all the factors. With this cycle, okay, we're pretty happy with this. Let's just go with whatever is available because they're keeping the same cycle. We can match that, exactly.
I was actually curious if Kix was going to have a balloon in there somewhere as well with those clones and stuff. And with that, because the problem would have become for Ponos, they couldn't just use freeze then, because freeze only hits stuff on the ground. It doesn't hit anything, or it does hit stuff in the air. I'm sorry, never mind.
Yeah, exactly, and everything
cancel that thought.
Yeah, everything coming.
I'm thinking of Earthquake.
Earthquake, yes, does come out from time to time, but yeah, because of Expo, it's actually a really meta spell, I think. But there's so many spells that you have to bring now. Zap, log, so everything away. You have to make that hard decision. Oh, I guess after the highlights, we're just ready to go into game number 3. Ponos, they really need to bring it once again. Kicks, can they really find this 2v2 work for themselves? Game number 3 of 2v2. So what now? We've seen Graveyard, we've seen Double Clone. Yeah, Kicks certainly trying something new, something different today.
Yeah, I like the idea by Kicks. We'll see exactly what they want to go for here in this final game, the deciding game. Huge moment here for Ponos. Definitely known for their 2v2 abilities. It's what has carried them through, especially last season.
Maybe some more executioner work, but without the tornado, less likely. Okay, so far just Mega Knight with the Ram Rider with the Dark Prince pushing its way on the left, and a P.E.K.K.A response from Ponos.
Yep, so that P.E.K.K.A taking a bit of damage here, though. Now that Ram Rider is going to get taken down, but that P.E.K.K.A is pretty low, and now you've got, well, you've got a good guard surround plus the Brawler here, so that Mega Knight's going to get her up in the top right.
That Executioner get all the pubs except for one in the return of lava breaking out into pubs. That was beautiful.
Yeah, really nicely done there by Kicks, adapting very quickly here to this new patch.
Yeah, that Flying Machine just running away from Miner just for a second, but does get one more hit onto the tower, so that's okay for Ponos, but to take a few more hits from the Miner, I think that's what they were really looking to stop from.
Yeah, now they're gonna switch sides, which is pretty common with a beatdown deck when you're lower on health on your Princess Tower on the right-hand side. You want to try to force, the defense out, so then you can, not allow any offensive spells, especially, to come through and damage your tower.
It's usually the other way, but they got the double lava this time. I think that's exactly the stress they wanted to have with the poison, getting the maximum offensive value, but the Musketeer really well placed from Kicks.
Yeah, okay, these guards are going to go down really quick. That's a very healthy P.E.K.K.A.
But the P.E.K.K.A!
Oh my goodness, that P.E.K.K.A is going to get some big swings in the bottom right. Up on the top, the defense is good with that Executioner. Down goes the Lava Hound.
Wanted to drag that P.E.K.K.A along with that cage together, but only the Dark Prince. Sometimes the P.E.K.K.A just goes to the tower and it just connects. And the moment it connects, it's basically tower down. And time to press the emote to say good game.
Yeah, this is looking pretty good here for Kicks now. That Ram Rider is going to come through here as well with the poison. The Miner, it is just so much damage.
Yeah, good luck just before the charge onto the tower. Now, Ponos once again trying really big push with double lava. Poison with the Miner. The problem has been the Executioner not landing yet.
Right, they're going to save that Executioner for pup time. That's great that they can get it out there. You can see now it comes down right as the pups are about to come out here, because you can catch those pups when they explode because of that really fast attack rate. Kicks does it. They're going to take the game and the set.
Yeah, not enough time for Ponos. And a big execution. Oh, that's a fisherman ceremony, man. Just drag it and you just roll with it. That's exactly what you do. They had us even the ceremony ready for that 2v2. Legend and Onion showing some new spice, bringing lots of fishermen. Even the Executioner happens to be against the lava, so that's the card you need against all those pubs. Yeah, Ponos today, I think they focused a lot into air, which they usually do with Nikamboya and Tengat pair. Yeah, but they're away from the balloon, so this is not the same that they have been doing. Just did not really work. The third game against the Executioner, really hard countered by, lacked all the damage here.
Yeah, that Executioner is brutal against the Lava Hound. Does so much damage to those pups, makes it basically worthless. And we talked about it a lot previously, where the real danger of a Lava Hound isn't those initial belches. You can basically let it come in full health and belch away, and it isn't doing critical damage. It's when the pups come out is when things get scary. So you need something to answer that. Executioner looks like it is a very good one.
Yeah, it's the Miner that you need to have. You need to have the Executioner attacking the Miner so the pups actually can connect the damage. So usually you bring the Zap along with it. But this time didn't really connect too well. Yeah, Kicks, they waited for the perfect moment. I think having the patience was the key. Just before the Lava Pup breaks out, have the Executioner down. They waited for that moment. I think that was great. Even though they were taking damage, they knew the win potential came later.
See, look at this. There's two Lava Hounds just belching away. Now, you do have a Musketeer and a Mega Minion helping, but whatever, it doesn't matter because those pups just get annihilated by the Executioner.
Great angle.
Yep.
Yeah, great angle to eliminate so many in just one spin of that axe. I mean, Executioner getting that big buff and damage, eliminating so much. So here comes that 1v1. Who's this? Yes.
It's Rad!
It's Rad!
This guy's pretty good. He is pretty good. We saw him, you know, be the MVP for the finals last season. This guy played his brains out for Ponos. Just absolutely incredible stuff from him. So they're bringing him in here against Pedro, the secret weapon for Ponos coming out.
Yes, I think so, because along with Fuchi, Rad and Fuchi, they're basically the brain for the team. Do a lot of studies over, especially when the new patch hits. It mentioned before, I think that's like the reason why. Maybe he did specific research on Pedro, because very likely we're going to see Pedro from Kicks today. Pedro, yeah, no losses in games, not just matches.
Yeah, this is pretty good start to your season. Now, it's only two sets that he's won in 4 games, so could be interesting here. I think Rad's gonna have something pretty unique prepared for him potentially, but it's hard to prepare against Pedro. Pedro's played a lot of different stuff. He's played Sparky Goblin Giant. I believe he played some Royal Giant. He's played some P.E.K.K.A. Everybody's played P.E.K.K.A., but it's just all over the place.
Let's see what this 1v1 is going to look like. It is Rad from Ponos, X Pedro 15 from Kicks. Much love for all the players of Clash Royale League Asia, not just our region. Yep. China and also West coming in hot very soon, so excited for that too.
All right, we saw a lot of Ram Rider as well from Pedro a couple weeks ago, so is that what he's thinking here? Once again, go with what worked. He won twice in a row with basically the same deck. So can he bring that back for us here? We'll see.
Yeah, just from the Baby Dragon, it's a little bit too early, but with the Fisherman, does want to get that drag a little too early, but I don't think that was the best one he wanted. There's that Graveyard coming in hot with that Rad Knight. Was his choice for the tanks.
There's a defensive poison here from Pedro, so gonna do a decent job handling that Graveyard there. Takes a little bit of damage from the poison from Rad as well. Able to use that Ice Golem to kite the Baby Dragon away. And this is pretty interesting stuff here.
Yeah, Pedro's like really good against the Expo. I think that's something that you really need to think about in every single time. Within the meta has the counter Graveyard, but a Tombstone ready to go, so not bad. There's that Ice Wizard, along with the Knights, taking care of most of the skeletons. I think that was about 4 shots connecting to the tower.
Yep, so pretty good defense available from Rad. He's just going to counter with a Graveyard of his own. Now there is a bit of Elixir available here for Pedro to distract all these units coming in behind it. Dark Prince does decent job defending it, not allowing too much damage to come through. Ice Wizard gets a little bit of splash damage, but that just tickles.
Yeah, also Skeleton keeping the Princess Tower busy, so Ice Wizard was able to do some more, but Ice Wizard is not the most... It's not the unit that does the most damage in Clash Royale. So,
what do you mean?
Pedro, okay, taking one more hit. It slows, it buys you a lot of time.
Yeah.
Like compared to mini P.E.K.K.A. on a single target. Yeah, you know
it does more damage than an Earthquake Tick.
Yeah, so with the Tornado, but the Knight also with an Executioner coming in for the Pedro. It's crossing the bridge, and there's that damage. Doesn't eliminate everything, but it does the damage.
Yeah, not too bad here. Now he's got that Executioner available. Dark Prince as well to buy it time to do its thing here. Now we've got that poison coming through here. Both poisons are down here to defend. It looks like Pedro wasn't quite able to mount the defense he wanted to, so Rad's doing a really nice job.
Yeah, there was double Ice Wizard on that bridge, keeping everything from Pedro slowed away. So a lot more damage from the skeletons of Graveyard coming down from Rad so far. Tombstone actually keeping all the troops away. Harder for Executioner to land on a hit on all the units.
Right, that Knight's gonna get beat up pretty fast here. Good poison here from Rad, catching so many of Pedro's units as well as his Princess Tower. It is down to 806 now. Pedro can't even get his units to cross the bridge to try to mount an offense of his own. He's going to have to bridge spam to try this.
Yeah, it's going to be hard as the Tombstone already placed all the way over. He wants to get that first, all the skeletons down, and then maybe his own attack right after with the Ice Golem. Yeah, Rad is going to be ready with his own poison though very soon.
Okay, it looks like Pedro's just trying to get through anything he can here, trying to keep things on Rad's side as much as possible so he can start using his graveyards and potentially his poisons as well.
Yeah, but off timing because Rad had that Tombstone ready to go against all the skeletons. Baby Dragon even coming in hot, expecting that timing, but Rad's timing just a little off too.
Yeah, oh, Rad just got some really nice skeleton RNG. They popped on the short side of that graveyard and got a few swings in, so that's a little bit of extra damage for him there. Pedro is looking in danger of potentially dropping his first game here in Clash Royale League Asia.
Rad keeping in really well with the Tombstone against the graveyard. Pedro not really finding the best cycle to have his unit locked onto the Princess Tower. Rad not really even caring about that, making sure to lock away your opponent first and then your graveyard. This is the real chance for Pedro.
All right, let's see if he can get it through. Some skeletons are connecting there. The defense isn't as good, but that tornado is quite nice there by Rad. And that is critical damage not being done by Pedro.
Not as much because of Rad's Tombstone all the way back there. Skeletons versus skeletons. Also, Tombstone taking away a few shots away from them. The Pedro pushing once again, real heavy, trying to do some more damage, getting some elixir trade, really positive elixir trade with that Executioner Tornado combo.
Yeah, here he goes. He's looking really fired up about this one. That Tombstone might have been misplaced here.
That was spicy.
Oh, I think Pedro does it. Wow. Great timing by Pedro. Rad looked like he had that one the whole way. And then Pedro gets one good tornado. That Tombstone doesn't fare well against the Executioner.
So not just changing the cycle, changing the tempo, how you control the game in the cycle. Pedro always waited for his perfect chance, maybe having one of the Dark Ice Golem or the Dark Prince to tank the shot, and then it's setting up something good, something really good for himself to actually have that combo with that graveyard. But at the end, he just spammed and then said, let's go, I have the Tornado, Executioner, it's going all the way, and then he made it work.
Crazy good stuff here from him, and it looked like the defense was always just going to be available here, but then all of a sudden Rad got forced to put a Tombstone somewhere he doesn't want it, way out in the open, where the Executioner, just one throw of that axe, takes down that Tombstone and the skeletons inside of it here.
It hurts.
It hurts
a lot.
Look at this.
Even though it doesn't connect to the
with
tower.
Help from the Dark Prince, but yes.
Because Executioner, he was able to not just tank shots, he had everything else around it. It was able to survive such a long time along with that tornado combo. And that was the chance. I think Rad just made one mistake of putting everything nearby, just not thinking at that moment that tornado was available and this was going to be the big push. And didn't really have the perfect setup for that. It was an off timing because Pedro changed his cycle.
Really, really nice done. Nicely done by Pedro to do that. I'm still, that Tombstone placement, I'm not exactly sure if it would have been better to put it a little further away from those units to buy just a little bit more. I mean, regardless, Rad was in trouble.
Yeah, by that time, Pedro got too much elixir trade value from, that Executioner Tornado combo right before anyhow. I think Rad was in a panic mode, but right before that, like 10 seconds before that, Rad on screen looked super confident, almost thinking that, okay, I can just cycle this one out and go overtime and then just go until we run out of overtime, and then maybe I'll just win with the HP count on the Princess Tower.
Yeah. I think you're actually right.
Really confident.
That's what I was thinking.
Yes.
That's why I don't have anything to say. I'm like, well, that's exactly what I was thinking. So this is just incredible stuff here from Pedro. Still 5 games in a row to start out Clash Royale League Asia season number 2 for him. Can he keep it going? Can he win a 6th game in a row? Take down Rad, take down Ponos, and get the win for kicks. Rad, though, looked good for most of that game. Let's see what he can do here in game number 2.
Ponos also had to use the timeout before we go in. Potentially the last game for Ponos if they lose against X Pedro 15. What a player, making some unique plays out for certain. Yeah, when there's no bank card, you're expecting a tornado. And when there's a tornado, perfect card to pull. Executioner. So Royal Ghost did get a change, a minor change. Not really a big deal here. Sparky does come out from Pedro once again. And against the Executioner, a lot of Japanese players were saying Three Musketeers are one of the better cards.
Yeah, definitely a strong card against it. But you got to be able to get it to lock on, because that Sparky's going to get both those. Okay, you've got the Skeletons available in time. You're going to be able to buy a little bit of time there with that Fisherman, but now the Sparky is coming across. Royal Hogs on the top left doing quite a bit of damage as well, though. The Hunter is down a little too late.
Too late. And against a Sparky, you're late. Really late. A single shot does 1100 damage, and Hunter, I was maybe waiting for, okay, Rat, do you have a perfect spell against a Sparky? A Zap?
That was a lot of extra damage that Pedro just took there up in the top right. I thought this was fine for Pedro, but he took way too much damage up there on the top right.
Gonna be a hard trade as Rad is really looking to cycle this one out. Left and right together. And getting all those hogs in just 1-2 defense is going to be hard. So Fisherman makes it harder for the Sparky to focus from time to time when there are many different units. Like when the 3 Skeletons can be shot by just once, Fisherman will drag one out and then make it into 2 shots for Sparky. So Pedro also has to really be careful how he uses his own Fisherman.
Yeah, it gets a little weird with the Fisherman because, yeah, like you're saying, you could pull stuff into the Sparky that you don't really mean to, and all Pedro has for defense against these Royal Hogs here right now is his own Fisherman. He's got a snowball to back those Musketeers off, and then the Dark Prince comes in, and with that AoE, it's going to get them basically dead.
Sparky still marching towards that King Tower. To just before King Tower locks onto the Royal Ghost. Takes it out. More shots to the King Tower. Will hurt a lot more than this. Also takes out the Musketeer from the 3.
1 shot from the Sparky is acceptable onto the King Tower. 2 is not. That is a lot of damage that is done in the Lightning as well. So devastating to those 3 Musketeers. Now this is a huge push coming across the bridge from Pedro. That is a Dark Prince in the pocket. That is a Goblin Giant locked on. That is a Sparky as well.
Too much damage, and Pedro knew that he didn't have too much time against those Royal Hogs. Makes it work. That's 2 crown already. Rad does not bring it for the team. Pedro is unstoppable, invincible at the moment.
He's just so good. It's just anything he wants to play. He's great at Graveyard. He's great at Goblin Giant Sparky. He can play the Riders, whether it be the Ram Rider or the Battle Ram. He can do so many different things, and he's so smart, so patient, so calculated.
No other team wanted to pick Kicks during the group nomination, and we know why. We've said it before, and Kicks seems to be the most dominating team. I think they are very, very likely with this matchup. It's going to happen once again, though, later into the season. But currently, and for a very long time, I can see them just staying on top of the standings for Group A right now.
I don't know how anybody beats him. I just don't know.
Who beats Pedro? That's the real problem.
I don't know. I just don't know.
The 2v2, it seems possible. There are really good moments for Pronos today, but 1v1, it's tough. It's not impossible, but King of the Hill is another problem too. So Kick's really, really powerful team right now for Group A. That's not the only match. We had 2-0, 2-0. We've got to go through one more match. Yeah, match number 9 coming up very soon. It is going to be Team Talon versus Dragon X. Stick around, and more Clash Royale coming up soon. And welcome back to Clash Royale League Asia. We have match 9 for Group A. Talon versus Dragon X. Executioner certainly making lots of changes. Well, it had lots of changes from the old to the announced version, and then I guess the hot-fixed version before the actual release, and then the hot-fixed version right before the broadcast. It's actually really good with the range change.
Yeah, we're seeing it be very effective, and right away these players taking advantage of it. We just saw Pedro do so well with it. We've seen it be really powerful in 2v2, especially countering the Lava Hounds and those pups that come out of it here. But now we move on to our last match of the day. Talon versus Dragon X. Opa Dylan Tattoos. Tochi.
Yes.
It's so hard for me to pronounce that because like I've gotten so used to like English and Korean and Japanese names, and now we're getting names that are from, you know, Russian or Eastern European speaking countries, and that's a little harder for me.
Now we're gonna get aliens coming in next season, making it impossible for us to speak. Dragon X here, Alpha July, Nuri, True Fast, Line. Yep, they got a lot of potential. I think they have a lot of strong 1v1 players too. As long as they really bring down that 2v2, certainly a potential team. I think I'm personally keeping my eyes on compared to all other Korean teams, because this squad can show its power in King of the Hill. That's what I'm looking for.
Yeah, absolutely. I think this is a pretty stacked lineup here in terms of 1v1 potential. Definitely one of the on paper stronger Korean teams. So we'll see exactly what they want to do today. They started off the first 2 weeks using Alpha and True Fast in their 2v2s, and they lost the first one against Kicks, but you know, that's kind of what happening to everyone. And then the second week they did beat Detonation Gaming there. So I'll be curious to see if they stick with that or exactly what they want to do with their lineups. Let's find out right now. Ooh, different. A lot is different here, G-Clef.
Yes. Nuri just Tochi in 1v1. That will be a fun match to have for 1v1 here. Of course, a tornado ban. That's a staple. Just mark it right there. I think your screen is going to be... Just print out the tornado picture and just put it on your screen, guys. Either on the left side or the right side.
If you have a plasma TV, it's going to get burned into the image of the TV, man. Like, that tornado's always there.
It's just like that, I know. It doesn't really change too many times, and certainly having a lot more for the blue side from the record that I remember. Both teams really need to bring the victory for themselves right here. Also, Yugi Art, True Fast for the 4th player on the bench for potential King of the Hill. I think they got a decent roster for both of the teams.
Yeah, actually, I'm pretty excited to see Tochi in the 1v1 there. We haven't gotten to see that. He was in the 2v2 the first couple weeks with the Rock, but changing it up here, Talon needs to find some way to get things going here. It has not been their season so far. They're 0-2 in both their 2v2s and 1v1s, so let's see what Opa Dylan and Tattoos got for us.
Trying something new, I think that's a key. Really finding your best deal and the 1v1 player for the team. How many things you can change within the active roster within the first month, or maybe up to week 5 or maybe week 6 of the season. I think that's really important for a team to basically have the staple down and then get everything together with the teamwork and then the lineup. So it's a similar story for Dragon X. They need to really get it together right now. So for Line and July, both really well known for 1v1 player as well. For 2v2, might be a different story. Didn't really see Line at all in that 2v2 spot.
Yeah, really interesting to see Line here, especially, you know, like we said, like you just said, Line's been known for the 1v1. He has 8,000 trophies, which is pretty good. So he's very, very capable of being a strong 1v1 player. But now we get to see what he's got for us here in 2v2, teaming up with July. So 2 brand new 2v2 pairs coming at us, G-Clef. This ought to be quite interesting.
And with the new patch, so expect something unexpected coming out from these 4. Well, Tornado is banned, but we've seen a lot of Executioners still without anything. Lava, we had Lava Miner, Lava Clone, so prevalent in not the current meta, the patch before, but may not be anymore because of that Executioner. I think the range buff was the crucial one. The damage was enough already.
Well, it gives it enough range here. Good log there. It gives it enough range to really get most of the pups, if not all of them, if placed correctly. So Nice stuff here. There's that Dark Goblin we saw a lot of, along with the Goblin Barrel and some bandits. Or excuse me, Rascals.
And yeah, Giant Skeleton just in time so the Princess Tower does not lock onto the Rascal Boy. A good reaction by Talon there. Yeah, making sure the goblins from the barrel will just stop. Did some damage to the tower, but not a major one. Here comes the Giant Skeleton with the RG this time from Talon.
Yep, and there is that Inferno Tower. There's the Earthquake this time coming through to help counter that Inferno Tower. So we're going to get one shot here from the Royal Giant. I think it's two.
Yeah, overall, a lot more damage on the top right, but with a Dark Goblin, you need to take care of those. And the barrel actually connects because it did not have the log in cycle.
Yeah, Fireball there to take out the Princess, and immediately another Goblin Barrel comes down the log there to clean up those goblins. So good job by a follow-up defense by Talon, but good job also by Dragon X finding a moment where they could get their goblins in there, do a little damage.
Yeah, for the cycle, Talon might be running out of spells very soon. Spellbait, of course, coming out from Dragon X. No Inferno Tower this time comes in a little late, expecting that Earthquake to be coming down, but was waiting for it, Talon. Yeah, great response from both teams.
Still gets one shot out of that RG, even though they were much more patient that time, was Dragon X. So good patience does give them a slight benefit compared to the last situation they were in that.
Yeah, also like the patience and the placements coming out from both teams. A lot of units with the Dark Goblin. If you let that unit connect to the tower, 4 shots naked, at least 2 shots if it connects. So you can't just let that happen anytime soon.
Oh, it's just so much damage. It's crazy. Okay, they got to be careful of that Dark Prince there.
Yeah, got the charge damage onto the tower, and few more stabs from the Goblin. I think that tower is basically gone. We're waiting for a few more spells to come down from Dragon X too, so expecting that tower to be gone right now. Talon needs to push.
Right, this one's got to get more than one shot in, potentially, depending on what the follow-up spells are here for Talon. That is a nice placement on that Inferno Tower, because that keeps it out of Earthquake range, and the RG gets no shots.
Yeah, exactly, and there's that poison securing, activates the King Tower at the same time. So Talon setting up something bigger, only 14 seconds to go.
All right, is there a lightning in here? We haven't seen it yet used, and that RG, they just are trying to get it through, but there's plenty of units there to block it and damage it. This looks like it is going to be Dragon X's game, and indeed, they will take game number 1.
Too many spells were baited by those barrels. The Princess, Dark Goblin, really got to use a spell to take out. If you take out 1, that's okay. If you take out 2, that's great. But if you're running out of spell by taking out 1 by 1, you even have to use a fireball against the barrel or like the Princess. And that's not the Princess Tower you're chipping into. You're losing every single time. You're losing elixir by 1 by 1 by 1, and then eventually you will fall short. And that's exactly what happened here for Talon.
You were reading my brain there, G-Clef. That's exactly what I was thinking. That fireball, very powerful from time to time, especially in 2v2 now that we're starting to see magic archers and flying machines more often. But when you don't bring anything like that and it's all the 3 elixir cost units, that fireball, not the best there. And we tried to get the Earthquake in at the end, but really, really nice adjustments on their defense by Dragon X. Patience with the Inferno Towers, keeping that RG at bay just long enough where you're able to keep it down to just 1 shot and then no shots that second time around.
Yeah, exactly. We don't really see Barbarian Barrel coming down anytime soon. Also got a nerf, so Rascal Girl actually survives with the same level here. And only had 1 log. If you use the log to get the girls removed, then what are you going to do against the Goblin Barrel, the Dark Goblin, Princess? So many units to think about. Well, some Spellbait seemed like a real charm for Dragon X. I think they can try similar type of attack. Once again, Talon might be just switching a few more spells here.
Yeah, you could go with a few different spells and a few other units that can help counter some of those as well. We'll see what exactly Talon wants to do, trying to turn this around. And we've got the the miner emote there.
The miner emote. Ooh. That's flashy.
We're getting some real pizzazz here, G-Clef.
Yeah, something new that you don't really get to see. You get to see from CRL first. Executioner. No tornado needed, but gets all the guards along with that baby dragon. See, look at the damage. I mean, the damage from the initial damage buff, it was nerfed, but still really big damage.
Oh, and that Magic Archer is connecting to that top left Princess Tower. They're able to change targets briefly, but now it's back at it.
I think that was like total 5 shots into the tower. That was a lot of damage because with the poison, it's down to 13-12 already.
100% love the changes here from Talon so far with the Executioner and the Magic Archer. And this is a very, very low tower here. That P.E.K.K.A.'s not going to be enough.
Yeah, even the charge and all the skeletons from the barrel. I mean, Mega Minion and the P.E.K.K.A. Not the best 2 units to go against that many skeletons, to be honest.
What do you mean? Really slow attack rate? Not good against skeletons?
Yeah, they do a lot of damage. Here comes the freeze, though. Guards right after. Yeah, Talon, good drop there. Was expecting that spell to come down.
Yeah, really, really well played there by Talon. They never saw the RG, so they could kind of sense that with the giant skeleton, there was most likely going to be a graveyard there, as the giant skeleton will often tank for that graveyard. Or with the baby dragon as well, you're trying to get one of those, or potentially the P.E.K.K.A. And here we go, we're going to try it again.
Yeah, only the miner on the top right, but here comes the defensive poison too, coming down from Talon, so not really worried about the skeletons at all. Does not want to activate the King Tower. That's an easy defense right now for Talon, not taking too much damage other than the poison round.
All right, we are into 2x Elixir time. Good placement there to prevent that miner getting through, but now you're committing a lot over onto that right-hand side, and the left-hand side is really where you're trying to get damage, potentially, but they might try to switch it up here. Interesting, maybe, by Dragon X.
Yeah, is this a trick, or Dragon X really thinking about all the damage onto the right side? There's that poison to get the Musketeer. Comes the Graveyard onto the left with the Dark Prince locked up with the Princess Tower.
All right, this time the freeze is there, but there is a Magic Archer and a Log available, so there really isn't a ton of damage being done here on the bottom left. That P.E.K.K.A. on the bottom right, though, might get a swing. No, just in time with the Dark Prince.
Yeah, Mega Minion connected a few shots along with that poison, so down to 451. Dragon X might be able to bring that tower down. Defensive poison this time from Talon.
All right, it's going to take a little bit of damage. They're going to need a little bit of luck here from the skeleton. I don't think it's enough, G-Clef.
What do they have? The final spell from Lion is not revealed, and that's game.
Alrighty. Good job here by Talon.
Yeah, good starting end. It really worked out for them to have one major big push. And against so many small units, yeah, Dragon X also not really responding with the best cards in their hand. I think they lacked on, and they used a little too many, yeah, for the first set of defense.
This time it's going to be Dragon X that wants to take a timeout here. They want to make sure they're ready for this next one, and they were, I mean, this was a really nice change up here by Talon. They were prepared for the spell bait shenanigans again with that Executioner and the Magic Archer. That's a lot more helpful against some of that, what's going to come through from those. And on top of that, good timing with that Skeleton Barrel. I think we really only saw that like one time. Maybe twice.
Yeah, especially when in 2v2, how many E-Wizard dropping on top of those skeletons and all kinds of spells basically, running over them all the time. You don't really see that too many times. Unless you really, we've seen some missed spells, like dropping the spell a little too early before the skeletons actually pop.
Yeah.
When like the Skeleton Barrel was like pretty new of a card when it was just introduced in the game. But other than that, yeah, you're right. Yeah, with that timeout, maybe it's time for Dragon X to really go back into the cycle, to see a lot more Ram Rider just splash coming in hot left and right from China and 2v2.
I would like to see a Ram Rider here from Dragon X. I think that combo is pretty strong with the Mega Knight potentially as well. It'd be a nice little change up they could throw in here. I think that would be, if they're thinking Talon's going to kind of stick with what they did in that last game, yeah. I think it could be pretty decent.
And I think if you're thinking about those building charging ones like the Hog Rider, Ram Rider, even the RG, the key card is Lightning. I think Talon is not having the Lightning potential, which was totally possible. It could have been worse in terms of cycle, but when they needed that exactly against the Inferno Tower, they had the Earthquake, which is okay, but I think Inferno could have been a much better spell that could really gel with what they had.
Yeah, I think you're right. It was a little surprising to see that disappear there as well. So we'll see exactly what they're going to do here. We are getting everything set up and ready to go for the deciding game of this 2v2 set. There's so much. I find it a little hard to want to go for beatdown right now with that executioner there. That's scary.
And with the fisherman, it's even scarier. The golem might just might be tossed away here and there.
just put it in the river.
Yeah, fewer small ones coming up from Talon once again onto the right side. Are we back to game 1 deck?
Could be. See exactly. I mean, that is a pretty light deck so far from Dragon X. It's an Expo here. This is fascinating.
Giant Skeleton just in time. It almost connected to the tower. X, and then you got the Magic Archer working with that Pierce angle. Got the mini zap from the E-Wiz, so it's safe away from just a few shots.
But if you can get these giant skeletons down in time, you're just going to be able to neutralize the Expos pretty well. But nope, this time it's not available, so we're going to get a connection onto the tower here. Nice job by Dragon X, just immediately going for that Expo. Once again, the Mega Minion gets a swipe in there as well.
When you have the Tesla combo like that, the 10 Elixir combo that everyone wants to have, it is from time to time really hard, but ready with that, all the small ones against that Inferno Tower. So you're pretty much expecting that to come out.
Oh, good log there. That was so nice. That's going to allow that Expo to continue to do work onto that bottom left tower. I think Talon kind of realizing that that one might be dead to rights here, so they're just going to try to get whatever damage they can onto that top left tower.
They really have a real good response back. I mean, against the Expo, if you bring the tower down onto the opposing side, you're going to have a fun time because you can't really place the Expo too easily, but it's the opposite here. Dragon X with the P.E.K.K.A. with that Expo this time.
Too late with the giant skeleton. This looks like Talon is completely fooled. I don't think they expected this at all.
Yeah, man. The miner taken care of easily by the skeletons, and that snowball basically removing everything. Comes the Tesla. Yeah, working with against the giant skeleton. Pretty healthy though.
It is pretty healthy here, but there's still enough elixir for them available to kite this thing around for a little bit. The bats coming through here along with the E-Wiz. That death bomb will not get to the tower here, and now that is a slowed up Goblin Barrel on the left. Miner's going to do a little damage along with the poison, but I don't know if it's going to be enough because that bottom right-hand tower is chunked.
Yes, it's taking too much damage. There's that Expo just for another set of defense. Miner got a few hits and a Pierce shot into the tower top left for 14.
I don't even think Talon cares here that that giant skeleton's getting up to that tower.
3 off.
Yep. No, they can just one more spell is all it's going to take. They're just going to launch it. And what a change up here from Dragon X. Really just switching lanes.
Double Expo in 2v2. I think we've seen it about once or twice last season. Less than 4 times the entire year of last season too. Just at a surprise, just bringing that around along with your spells. They got it ready. I mean, Talon was... Yeah, they were quite surprised from the first giant skeleton. Okay, we just got to drop something here to block the Expo shot.
It's one of the rarest decks you're going to see in 2v2 because I can remember when we've seen it in the past, it just got blown apart. It just wasn't very successful because back then, a lot of what you were seeing was heavier type things that could just tank it all day. You know, a lot of RG giant skeleton here. And yes, there was one giant skeleton available for Talon, but just one. And that turned out to be kind of detrimental to them because they didn't have a lot to tank the damage from the Expo.
Really cool 2v2 deck coming out from Dragon X. I'd like to see some Expos happening again and again. If you can really catch the enemy if they have so many air units especially. I don't think right now is the time with that executioner change. But
Sparky in 2v2 win? Never. But never.
You're dreaming too many.
I dream too many Sparkies. It's all that goes through my head some days.
I think you're happy with the Goblin Giant Sparky deck.
Really love that
enough
deck.
Times last season.
It's good again this season. Well, Pedro's good with it, and Benzer. Benzer's good with it too. Yes. We don't see too many people otherwise have brought it out yet this season.
Yeah, not as much on ladder, but still does come out from time to time in China too. I believe it's going to stick around unless there are some major changes to those two key units or like the Dark Prince.
Yeah. I mean, personally, I think Sparky's in a good place. I think it's at a
Nerf.
You were telling me that during the break, and I just I didn't want anyone to hear it.
Yeah, because you just hit level 13.
I did just hit level 13.
It's about time.
With my Sparky just today, literally right before the broadcast. I'd be so sad.
Yes. Keeping the Rocket is always a safe option. Dragon X really ready with that P.E.K.K.A. Yeah, P.E.K.K.A. Expo decks, even in 1v1, it's gaining some popularity. I think we're seeing lots of changes, lots of custom decks coming out from lots of players around the world, not just in competitive. So right now, especially with the new balance patches hitting less than a week ago, it's in a panic mode in a little bit.
All right, it's up to this guy, Tochi Lovac. He has got to get this done. I dig the beard. I dig the shaved head, bro. I feel like we're in sync there. I like that a lot. Can he get this turned around here for Talon against Nuri coming through here for the first time this season in 1v1? Anybody that isn't lying, this is the first time we're seeing somebody, so could be really interesting here to see these. Once again, we're seeing an entirely new matchup.
Nuri had his moments in King of the Hill last season, though, which was very unexpected, just coming out of nowhere. Just Nuri having a real great day, 3-0. Was really surprised to find themselves also with a 3-0. Nuri took it confident, just kept. Believe he changed up every single time, even after a win. Let's see what he brings today. Usually the one that we would see some new decks coming out, new cards, uncommon cards coming out, would be Nuri and July, basically, from Dragon X.
Yeah, really excited for this one. It is game number 1 of set number 2 of match number 9 here. Tochi versus Nuri. Let's get into it.
Well played.
Well played. My brain doesn't want to say Tochi for some reason. Like, I see the CI and I want to, like, go with a different English pronunciation. It just doesn't like it.
You Wisconsin.
I know! Because we use the hard C sound for Wisconsin. Ka. Ugh.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah. And my name.
Good excuse.
And my real name, not Paper Thin. Paper Thin has no C's in it, but my real name has a C in it, and it's the hard C sound. Those are my excuses.
Well.
G-Clef.
Log thrown by.
Another hard C.
I'll be G-Clef from now on.
G-Clef. I like it. Well, this one, I mean, but the skeletons here from Nuri, pretty much, not always, but usually indicates it's a lighter deck, not something super heavy. So kind of interesting to see them both just really chewing through Elixir here.
Yep. Back in last season, if we just see like skeleton snowball, we would just Expo.
Yeah.
Very likely, but there are too many custom deck right now, even with like a Mega Knight RG.
Yeah.
With the skeleton and some ice, like Ice Golem, really cheap cycle, except for those 2 cards.
Right. It's got like Goblin Gang in it and like stuff like that. Ice Wizard. It's just like, that is a cool deck, by the way. That's one of my favorite decks we saw last season.
Yeah, even you can just, either it's Mega Knight or even a P.E.K.K.A, so you can just custom everything and try to fool your opponent by pretending like it's like an Expo deck or something. Here comes the Miner, though. So slight change in Nuri. As he did not really play that many Miner decks last season.
Yep, okay. The Valkyrie here from Nuri, and there's the Royal Giant from Tochi. He's trying to get it over. There's that Executioner right away, and the Tornado, of course, is the follow-up here as well. We're going to get that Lightning, though, because that Executioner had taken a little bit of damage there. So pretty good stuff here from Tochi to start this out.
And a Balloon to go with for Nuri, but ready with that Furnace to drag all the way. Main damage, you're looking for that Miner to be doing damage.
Yep, the Miner does finish off that E-Wizard. So now you got the Baby Dragon trying to body block that Balloon, and it just isn't time.
Yeah, without that body block, that was certainly going to connect. That seemed a little too dangerous. Okay, but well defended at the bottom right. Did more damage for Tochi on the top left. And a good log to split things apart against the Miner. Should be all the way okay with the Mega Minion defending it.
Yep. Pretty good stuff here from Tochi, doing a good job reading his opponent so far, bringing us the classic RG deck here. And we're going to get that balloon coming across with that Valkyrie here, immediately using the lightning as Tochi wants to get that balloon softened up. Where is the defense here on the bottom left? That balloon is coming through and getting some big drops.
Yeah, right after Furnace onto the right side. And Nuri was ready for that timing, expecting that balloon. Toshi was not exactly ready with that E-Wizard in time with the Miner. Nuri took a lot. They did a lot of damage there.
That was a significant blow being done, and now all he has available for defense against that Miner is the Baby Dragon. That's not ideal. DPS not very high from that. Now we're going to get some RG. One shot in. Great job with the Tornado. Now you've got the Executioner there as well. So it really limits the damage from that RG.
Yeah, Nuri, when you have that Tornado, RG will be dragged so many times. That's a Lightning and the E-Wiz, so this one seems like it's going to be okay with the Mega Minion just coming in time. Doesn't even need the Furnace, just in case there's that sudden balloon drop.
All right, he's going to make the try to make this work. Here comes the Executioner. Where's the Tornado? Is it available? He does have the Ice Spirit, so it only gets one shot off. This is very reminiscent of how you used to play RG with the Tornado. You'd use a Lumberjack instead, and you'd prevent it from getting any shots, but the Executioner does a pretty good job as well.
Yeah, Executioner. Notice the range is not as long as before. Still pretty long enough to take care of a few more units. That's following up. That's 216. Yeah, a few more spells away and the Miner hits, so Toshi needs to finish the game right now, maybe with the Lightning.
All right, he gets one shot. That's two. It's not quite in lightning range yet, but if he can cycle, no, it's the Miner in the bottom left. Not in time as Tochi.
Yeah, also the E-Wiz drop gets dragged by that Tornado along that was dragging the RG away from the tower. Its radius, pretty big, significant to change a game here. As, yeah, the hot fix of the Executioner, not just the damage. I don't think that 2% is... I don't think 2% was actually the big buff to it. The range, from the minimum range from 3 to actually going to 4, I think that's exactly what the players are really looking for. Because with that 3, there were lots of weird, funny moments with that Executioner. So really not hitting the target too many times.
Right, so what happens when you increase the range of a unit is you increase its effective DPS, right? So this is what kind of happened with the P.E.K.K.A. when they tried to nerf it. They nerfed its health, but they increased its range substantially. What you actually end up doing is effectively increasing the DPS. So
yes, because you hit a lot, you can reach the target a lot sooner and attack faster. You also buy that much more time for the other units to come to you.
Yes.
So it's a big buff. And having a solid 1 plus, that's a big buff. From the old one, 4.5, that was okay. But how the minimum actually went up, but by how long it actually goes to, that one did get reduced a lot from 6.5.
Yeah. So it seems to be a pretty effective change, and it's tough. It's really tough to make the RG work in this current meta because the prevalence of Tornado in 1v1, now that you can't ban it, and you can throw in there's like 4 different units you can throw in there behind the Tornado that basically eliminate the RG's ability to even get a shot off. Mini P.E.K.K.A., Lumberjack, Executioner, you're basically just... It's so hard to get that RG through. What you can do to change that is drop the RG back by your King Tower, and you have to build up behind it, so it makes it much harder. But now with the Executioner coming back in here, that's not as effective.
I'd like to throw in another option.
Go for it.
When you're stacking that many, bring that hook. Bring that Fishy Guy. Fishy Guy and make it go to the other side. So, except take out that RG, all the units coming behind it, just take care of those separately. When you have a lower HP tower on one side, that's a great change. You can actually win a game with that move. So, a lot of options against the RG. So right now, mate, is it the best time for RG? I don't think so. It might be the worst time since 2019 here. And Toshi's got to come back with a win against, but Nuri on a match point for Dragon X.
There's 2. When you can move the RG around, it really nullifies it because it is so slow, and it doesn't actually have as many hit points as a lot of the other big beefy units, so it makes it... you know, it's already a little flimsy. Yes, it hits hard, but now you can, especially with stuff like Ice Spirit, Tornado, anything that, you know, stuns it as well, makes it really challenging.
Yeah, when you're just like 2-3 hits away on the left tower, you just drag it with the Fisherman. There are lots of different cards, so this meta, we might not find the exact meta in a few weeks.
And oh hey, you can use the Tornado or the Fisherman if you have it to drag the RG. Let's say you've already taken the Princess Tower down.
Yeah.
Try to pocket drop the RG. No, you can pull it out so it attacks King Tower instead.
Some funny interactions might come out in competitive too, as we have a lot more cards being used. And so far, just the Bandit and the Dark Prince. A few more from Totsi.
Yeah, it looks like the traditional P.E.K.K.A deck here from Tochi, but we'll see. Sometimes you see some other things come out.
Yeah, you do see the graveyard with this pair too.
Yeah.
And those have the zap, so I'm thinking a few more. But Nuri, this is the moment where you're just basically expecting an Expo deck.
Yeah.
But it's not the time. You see a lot of different cards coming out.
Yeah, these days the meta's gotten pretty wild. Whoa, that's gonna get the dash.
Yeah, got the Ice Spirit just a little too late, so the Bandit actually got the dash onto the Ice Spirit first. So good news for Totsi.
One hit from that minion as well. So Tochi, okay, it's going to be the Battle Ram here. And there's the Tesla there to drag it away. Now you really feel like it could be Expo, but we did see a variant of this with the RG. What was that? I think it was Expo Master tried that the other week.
It was, yeah, with the mini P.E.K.K.A with that RG at the end.
Yeah.
Not Expo Master, but it is going to be just the traditional Expo this time. Ready with that P.E.K.K.A. She has to go through the skeletons first, but really on top of things with those minions.
Yeah, absolutely, and now he's got the Battle Ram coming up behind this P.E.K.K.A as well. That is not going to be a Tesla in the right spot, so the Battle Ram does get its charge, but he's able to clean the rest of it up pretty effectively, so not the end of the world there for Nuri.
It's on the right spot, but did not really expect the push from the P.E.K.K.A to go onto the side, and that's something you do have to control with the Battle Ram. It's really hard, but if you can do it every single time, I think Tochi can just beat this one out.
Yeah, it's looking pretty good here for Tochi. This time he does get the P.E.K.K.A down in time to kind of deal with this. He's got to get those skeletons down in front of it, but the zap is available as well. Good Ice Golem here, and now we've got a lock on with the Expo.
It does not get a swing into it, and not even the dash, so Expo gets a whole lot of damage. That was about 900 straight onto the tower.
Yeah, it was a pretty healthy tower there. Now Nuri setting up for defense, feeling like he can comfortably outdo Tochi here in the damage war. And getting ready for that. Now we've got the Battle Ram coming through. We've got the Ice Spirit going to help with those minions. And now we got another Expo coming through right away.
Yeah, with those minions gone, with the Bandit taking the damage just a little bit for Tochi to actually get the P.E.K.K.A ready on going for that Expo. Nuri having 6 elixirs at the moment.
Good usage of his small one-cost units there to keep that P.E.K.K.A at bay, and gets another connection with the Expo.
Great fireball to eliminate both of them after the log. So Nuri really kept those spells in together, knowing the exact cycle coming in from Tochi.
Really, really smart play here from Nuri, and great Ice Spirit. One hit from the Dark Prince, but that's okay.
It's about the same on the left and right up for the top side. I think Nuri was okay with that trade. Another fireball damage going in, 201 down to 770 on the bottom right.
Really excellent stuff here from Nuri. You can tell he's feeling pretty confident with his play. Now we're going to get a big push coming in from Tochi along with the poison here as well. We've got the log available, the bandits behind all of this. Tesla's buying a little bit of time. It does end up breaking up that Battle Ram. Archer's there as well to distract, and great job with that Expo dragging that P.E.K.K.A away.
Other than that, P.E.K.K.A, Dark Prince might not survive too much longer, and also gets the damage onto the Battle Ram for the log. Nuri super happy about that trade.
Yeah, this is great play here from Nuri, just stacking it up at the bridge. Coming through, he gets the connection onto the bottom right, and this is GG. Nuri takes game number 2 and set number 2, and Dragon X takes the match.
Expo for the win is, I think, what we have for today, along with Executioner. Really high win rate for today, and what we have not just in 1v1, also in 2v2. So really big changes with the updates. So far, just these few. I think we've seen few today. Not too many variety of things. When we talk about 1v1s, 2v2, we had Goblin Barrel, a few other spell baits. It was pretty exciting. But 1v1, I think we are about to see something brand new coming in hot very soon.
Yeah, it really felt like players were very comfortable taking advantage of the Executioner change, so we could see a lot of different things coming in. We're already seeing some new cards enter into the meta, and that was a pretty meta, old meta kind of matchup there, but we've seen some new stuff here today, and it's going to be really fascinating to watch how things evolve as the season moves forward.
And the units like Magic Archer, Executioner, you really have to know the timing and the angle, like the piercing, and when it comes back, you have to really know the timing. I think with all the new cards like the Magic Archer, players are even more experienced to the in their mastery level of how to control the card because they're so used to it now. Here comes the result. All 2-0s today. A little surprising. Chaos Theory kicks Dragon X with that win. Yeah, Ponos kicks was a really, really big matchup there. Ponos not grabbing the win. Ooh, that's a little surprising, but Kicks is the team with a really major monster. What else? What other words do you need for this team?
I don't know. Somebody's got to find a way to beat them because right now, no one can. They look so strong, not just 2v2, but also 1v1s, of course. And then they get to King of the Hill, and then it's still scary. What an interesting team they have put together here. Kicks really, really brilliant maneuvers in the offseason to put together what is currently our best team in Clash Royale League Asia.
Defending champion Ponos near at the bottom of Group A. What is happening? Of course, they had 2 tough matches back-to-back. That is true, but still where they are right now after this many weeks, a little surprising to see.
Well, when they go up against the other teams that they haven't faced yet, they got to get the wins. I mean, that's the thing. Losing to Chaos and Kicks, okay. Like, pretty much everyone else is losing to them, too.
Yes.
So that's not the end of the world, but then you have to be beating the Dragon X's, the Detonations, and the Talons. You have to. And they did beat Talon. So that's, look, their 2 losses are to Chaos and Kicks. That's not the most... That's not the most backbreaking thing. You want to beat Chaos for sure, of course, because you beat them, last year in the finals. But, Kicks, I don't know. Nobody's been able to do much against them.
Yes. And coming in just in 2 days. Saturday's what? September 7th, Saturday, 7 p.m. Yes. Weirdly put right there. Group B, guess who's coming back? Simon, Mr. Flibbles. Coming back and hot. He's going to bring all the toxicity with him. And we're going to have a lot of fun games because these teams, Group B, they will have at least a few more days to actually practice and maybe bring something new, something really new and fresh, raw.
Just going to be watching that Grand Challenge meta like a hawk. I did so much preparation today and it all got thrown out the window by this change at the end because so many people were willing to come through with the Executioner stuff. And I was just like, Fisherman, I was expecting, even though it got a minor nerf that was still used. Not as much in 1v1 as I was thinking it might, but, it still was there. But definitely Executioner looked to be really powerful, both in 1v1 and 2v2.
Yeah. A lot of community, also pro players, the Korean commentators too, saying Executioner seems like a nerf, like not like a heavy nerf, somewhat of a nerf with the range. That's what we were saying basically right before the patch. Well, certainly it did change a lot. We were seeing a lot more Executioner than what we expected. It was overall a really fun day of what we were going to see potentially in later part of September. Maybe a lot of the meta cards, meta decks that we have stapled, so many of those might be changing, but still seems like Expo for the win.
Expo still looks really strong. Well, and now it's become harder to use stuff that counters the Expo pretty well, like Royal Giant and things like that. So it is really interesting to see that, and I wouldn't be too surprised if maybe with like the ground heavy stuff in 1v1, maybe we're going to see a little bit more Balloon. We saw somebody try Balloon Miner today. It didn't, they kind of ran into a good matchup for it as well. There was, we saw it there with Tochi and Nuri. Nuri's able to get it going there because it's really hard to counter that balloon with a lot of the stuff we're seeing on the ground, like Goblin Cage and Fisherman.
Yeah, I'm expecting a lot more Earthquakes to actually come out, with just not just with the Hog Rider. Expo really strong with the Tesla also. So it's Hog Rider decks can also be really hard. So my conclusion, Expo for the win again.
Yep. My conclusion,
I think
Expo and Mortar.
Yeah, I think
Expo and Mortar are still strong.
Yeah, Mortar is also really strong if you can control it, along with that Miner and all the small troops following behind it. But that's day number 1 for us, basically, with the September update. We were really excited. What a fun day for us, too. But get ready. More days are coming up very soon. Just in 2 days, we're going to be back with Group B very soon. So stick around. And thanks for watching Clash Royale League Asia. We will be back in 2 days.